You all know about Siren Head, but do you know about these guys? Here are the top 5 newest Trevor Henderson creatures in 2022. Number 5 on this list is Bonesworth. Bonesworth initial drawing was done back in 2020, but hardly any info was released on this creature until very recently. The Trevor Henderson wiki says, Bonesworth is a skeletal being that is missing the lower half of its skeleton. The creature's skull is toothless and made up of 2 parts. The first noticeable one being a type of shell or plate that covers up its actual skull. The plates appear to be a creature skull, split in half and resting on its regular one. Now on to its actual skull. In none of the 4 known photos of Bonesworth, the inner skull can be seen. With further examination, a crack on its inner skull that forms a cross can be seen on its forehead between its eye sockets. The creature has oddly elongated arms that he seems to walk with. It could be a ghost, a failed experiment, or possibly both. He also seems to only want to attack people who either have recently done something wrong or mean if they are a criminal or if they hurt Bonesworth. He is also known as Counterclockwise Jack. So that's what he looks like, but what does he do? Well, for a long time, we weren't sure. But on February 15th of this year, Trevor gave us a few clues. He posted some more images of him on his Instagram, and this time he captioned the photos Bonesworth. Once Bonesworth, named after a once popular phone game said to be key to summoning him, he latched on to his favorite. He's almost impossible to get rid of. Only able to be seen by the person he is currently following. Bonesworth often brings insomnia and sickness. So, that is a lot more info that we just got. He didn't tell us exactly how to summon him, but he said that it has to do with a phone game of the same name. He also tells us that if you do summon him, he will be almost impossible to get rid of. Ultimately, after reading that, I don't think that summoning this dude is a good idea at all. He gives you insomnia and makes you sick, and you're literally the only person who would be able to see him, so everybody around you would just think that you're going crazy. Number 4 on this list is the Man in the Creek. The Man in the Creek is one of Trevor's newest creatures to date. It was posted on May 30th of this year, and very little is known about this thing. As we can see in the image, we are in a beautiful forested area that looks to be very thick. There's an opening into the bush in front of the viewer with a lone branch going directly through it. On the other side of this branch, barely visible in the darkness, is the grotesque looking face of a creature. The Trevor Henderson wiki says the Man in the Creek appears to be a disfigured human. It has a long head and long arms. Its skin color resembles its habitat. It is a green-grayish color. The legs can't be seen in this photo, so we're unsure if it lacks legs. And that, guys, is literally all we know about this thing. Its origin, why its face is the way that it is, the abilities that it has, whether it's friendly or not, we really have no idea. The only thing that we know for sure is that Trevor has been referring to this as the Man in the Creek. Hopefully he spends a little bit more time developing this character so we can discover the lore surrounding it. Number 3 on this list is the Clatter. The Clatter was initially introduced into the Trevor Henderson world in late 2021. In November of that year, Trevor Henderson posted a picture on his Instagram of a new monster. The picture was a grainy photograph of this creature stopping in at a gas station. Probably really pissed off about the gas prices and going to voice its complaints, but more on that in a later video. This creature resembled a moose or deer in size and body type, however, that's where the comparisons come to an end. There was absolutely no flesh attached to this creature at all, or at least not the type of flesh that we're familiar with seeing. Its entire body was made up of what looked to be antlers. These antlers were intertwined with one another and created this very creepy skeletal thing that was very similar to, like I said, a deer or moose. Maybe the creepiest part about all of this though is that they were covered in blood. The antlers looked stained with blood as if it had just been in contact with it. basically alluding to the fact that this creature is fresh off of murdering someone or something. This picture was posted back in November, and the caption to that image was, "A being of lonely truck stops, empty woods, abandoned hunting spots. The angry wasted remains, antlers sharp as malice." Now this is all that we heard about this creature for a long time. After it was posted, the Trevor Henderson community went abuzz, starting to discuss what type of abilities it had and where it came from. The community ultimately decided that it would be named Antlers and concluded that this beast must be able to levitate and that it can communicate by changing the pathway that wind blows through its body. We started to believe that this was the last of this creature until February 15th. Trevor posts another few pictures of this creature, and this time the caption reads, "The Clatter. Lonesome entity made of discarded antlers of all shapes and sizes. Haunts rest stops, hunting blinds, and tourist traps in secluded woodsy areas. It's named after the horrendous noises it makes when it moves, and its cry is like the wind blowing through bones." So now we know that this creature is actually named the Clatter, and that it likes to hunt for victims in more secluded areas close to the woods. No one has any idea how this creature came to be and how it gathered up the discarded antlers. All we know is that it exists and it's dangerous. We also don't know of any weaknesses either, but considering it doesn't have any flesh on its body, I can't imagine that there are too many weaknesses to speak of when it comes to this creature. Number 2 on this list is Sticky Note Guy. Okay, so this thing is not named Sticky Note Guy, but I really have no idea what this thing is or what it's called, so I'm going with Sticky Note Guy. This image was posted on May 28th, and Trevor captioned it with 3 emojis. One was an eyeball, another was a piece of paper, and the third was a red marker. As we can see in the photo, this creature is levitating and looks to be in some type of superstore of some kind in the washing machine section. We can also see on the bottom left of the screen that it says 2022, as in that's when this photo was taken. Now, in all honesty, we know nothing about this guy. Heck, I don't even know its name. But on July 1st, Trevor Henderson posted another image to his Instagram that gave us just the slightest bit of info. He made a tier list of all of his monsters and ranked them by how friendly or deadly they are. This creature made it into the orange tier, which reads, "Don't get close, don't look at it, don't speak to it, don't think about it, mimetic hazard." So, I think it's fair to say that this beast is dangerous and will hurt you if it chooses to do so. And finally, number 1 on this list is Slimy Swamp Ghost. So for those of you who frequent Twitter, this name might ring a bell to you. Slimy Swamp Ghost is actually Trevor Henderson's official Twitter handle. I guess that kind of encapsulates Trevor's energy if you think about it. Anyways, Slimy Swamp Ghost is Trevor's new Twitter banner. He posted it on his Instagram on June 25th, so literally not that long ago at all. This banner isn't just a few words though, there's a creature on it as well. Suspended by several ropes tied to its limbs, we can see a very long-armed creature with no facial features hanging in the middle of the photo. This is an extremely skinny creature, and it almost looks like a complete skeleton. Its hips are almost pure bone, and its super long arms seem like they could be snapped by a strong wind. We can also just barely make out the fact that it has some super long fingers as well. A humanoid creature that is hanging above the ground may be being carried by some bigger entity. It looks like the backdrop of the photo is of a forest, so this doesn't give us a whole lot of clues, but it does give us a frame of reference to the size of this creature. Which then makes you wonder what sort of thing could be holding this thing up like a marionette. Trevor is really good at throwing small things into his photos that make you wonder and cast doubt. Having this creature be suspended like this makes our imagination start to cycle through possible creatures that could be holding it up. The size and abilities of these creatures off camera would have to be immense. Whatever it is that's holding this thing up, I imagine that this thing is what Trevor is calling the Slimy Swamp Ghost. Considering it was posted on June 25th, it is his newest drawing to date. But there you have it, guys. That is our list of the top 5 newest Trevor Henderson creatures in 2022. Please let me know in the comments down below what you thought about this list and some other super new Trevor Henderson characters that you guys know about. Also, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I've been your host, Nicholas Playlog, and I will catch you next time.